Welcome to our podcast, Origin, where we celebrate the voices that refuse to be silenced, the talent that demand to be heard, and the stories that inspire us all. Today we invite our special guests to share their magic with the world, a beacon of creativity, a powerhouse of passion, and a soul destined to shine. As we embark on this journey together, let's unlock the depth of your talent, unravel the layers of your artistry, and ignite a spark that will illuminate the hearts and minds of our listeners. Get ready to show your brilliance, embrace your uniqueness, and let your talent speak volumes. This is your stage, your moment, and let the world witness the magic you're about to unleash. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Aura-Genz, for having me. I'm so honored. My name is James Voorhees, and I am originally from Abilene, Texas. I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas right now, and been writing songs ever since ever since I can remember, just like since I could hold a pen. I've been writing lyrics and things like that, which probably means I should be a little bit better than I am. I should have put a little bit more work into it, but there's life takes us on different journeys, and I'm
Mm,
grateful to be where I'm at today, and uh, that I'm able to dive further into developing my craft and also developing my character and my spiritual practices and disciplines.
Shout out to you. And how how has this music journey all started?
Um, so I think the earliest time that I remember writing a song, or at least trying to, or writing lyrics, I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I guess according to my family, and I somewhat remember it, I had this little like girlfriend or something, and I would write songs about her, and we'd have a little like little kid cutesy dates or whatever. And
Mm,
I do remember like having lyrics that I wrote about her or something. I don't remember what any of them said or anything, but I do remember that. And I travel a lot with my family growing up. I was homeschooled until high school, and my dad was an entrepreneur, so we would travel a lot. And during those times, I would just dive into my headphones and in my imagination and fantasy. And a lot of times, I would be listening to like Linkin Park or something, and just picturing myself being a part of Linkin Park, or very or like even Casting Crowns or old school like Christian rock bands or whatever,
mm,
or like Jeremy Camp was a big one for me growing up too, which is more like singer songwriter, I would say. Uh,
mm,
and yeah, it's just always been a really healthy way for me to process um, my experiences and create beauty out of perceived darkness, I guess would be a way I could put it.
okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you have about 8 songs out at the moment.
Um, I think so. I know. So I had a few years ago. I recorded an EP. Um, I recorded 4 songs at this school that I was going to maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I went back like 3 or 4 years. No, that would have been like. Sorry, I'm terrible at timeline.
Hmm.
Uh, Whenever I was like, so I'm 32 right now. It's like, oh, I
Mm,
guess that was about 9 years ago. So I went to school for a little while at a place called South Plains College in Levelland, Texas, and I was going for music. And while I was there, I made some friends that were in the production side of things, and we recorded one song called "Underneath the Stars." And that was like that I was always like from high school on, actually probably middle school, I was really into like pop punk, emo, like Mayday Parade was huge for me. Um, and so we recorded this song, Underneath the Stars, and then I released it on YouTube around that time. But yeah, so I released it on YouTube, and then I stopped going to that school for a little while for just various struggles that I was going through that I needed to focus on. And then probably 4 or 5 years later, then I started a journey of no longer using drugs and alcohol.
Mm.
And then, so I'd been writing songs about that. And then I went back with a teacher there that I really connected with. That was just a huge support system for me while I was going to the school. And I paid him to produce the songs Better Now, The Poison, Want to Give You Love, and Reverberate. And I had the idea that I was going to make an EP with those songs and Underneath the Stars and release them. And then during COVID, I went back out and I relapsed for a little while, and so I had released The Poison. And then, so right now, I think on Spotify, at least, like the main streaming platforms, I have 5 songs, I think, but I do have some like on SoundCloud that were recorded years and years ago that was just me and acoustic guitar, and then some of those are released on YouTube, on my YouTube channel also. Like, I know Burning It Down was part of that. That was an old song that I'd done just recording in my house that I had, and I had those friends that I made in college visited my hometown because they were originally from about an hour away in a smaller town. So one of them came over and visited and recorded with me, and that was an LP because I wanted to, I guess, be eccentric and and not and be a little bit different than most people that were releasing EPs. And an LP sounded cool to me, and so I released an LP called Modern Day Romeo on like SoundCloud and stuff, and that one's all like acoustic stuff, or like there's one song on the piano that I'm really not proud of, that one, the way it turned out on my singing and stuff on it. Anyways, I won't beat
I
myself
listened to
over.
the what was it? Modern Day Romeo.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the live performance on your YouTube.
Yeah, I really
Mm.
I enjoyed that song actually.
Mm. I will say you are good at bringing out emotions in your music.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I would say that I've been missing, at least when it comes to like mainstream like media.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good. That's
Thank you.
something that I haven't seen in a while. Um, you have out of the 8 songs that I listened to, 4 of them stand out to me. Uh, just being a first time listener, I'm about to name out the 4. Better Now. Honestly, this sound like an anime opening song.
Mm.
Uh, so I could see it being like, a soundtrack for like a film or something.
Oh.
Uh, Modern Day Romeo, like I said, is very emotional, and I can see it being used for like typically drama films or something.
Mm.
Uh, I Strike a Match and Burn the City Down. I enjoy that one. Kind of remind me of
Oh, I forgot
3 Days.
about that song.
Kind of remind me of 3 Days Grace.
Oh, cool. I love 3 Days Grace. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you know them too. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Burn It Down.
Mm.
I enjoy that one as
Cool.
well. But we're gonna start off with Better Now. How that come to be?
Yeah, so that was one of the songs that I actually co-wrote that with my old teacher and producer that I said that I went back to the school to record. I went there. I went and visited him for like a week, and we recorded in some of the studios there at the school. And then I hired some musicians from the school, uh, and yeah, so I went in there and I had an idea for this song, for the Better Now song, and then I was like, I can't exactly get it perfectly right. And we just went in the studio, or like, we're in his office and had a radical songwriting session together. And it just was, one of those times that the spark was just there and the magic happened. And yeah, so that song is all about my experiences with drug and alcohol addiction, and getting better from that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and so that's what the whole idea is about, this mental voice that goes on, um, saying, to use or to take drugs or alcohol or whatever, um, that I don't think a lot of people understand about, whenever people have the disease of alcoholism or addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about learning to not believe that mental voice. So it has an element of mindfulness to it, and which I greatly appreciate. I love practicing mindfulness, uh, and yeah, so it goes into, let's see, what are all the lyrics? Figured out you're just getting better now because I figured out you're just a phantom of a thought from long ago. Getting better now. I see through you. So I don't believe in ghosts. Something like that. I can't remember it off the top of my head without my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, so it's just talking about the idea whenever it comes up of like, oh, maybe I should go do this old pattern that I used to, and it doesn't have to necessarily be drugs or alcohol. It can be anything, that one is trying to overcome and
Mm-hmm.
grow in. Like it could be about productivity or whatever. I struggle with productivity a lot of times. I get overwhelmed by emotions and I want to investigate each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll like forget to do ordinary tasks that everybody does. Like
I understand.
I'll like wander from room to room. And, but yeah, and so it can be it can be relatable to anything, I think. But that's where it came from, um, was overcoming drugs and alcohol.
Okay. And I'm curious. Which are your songs out of your catalog that you got a chance to perform live?
Which ones can I?
No, which one have you had a chance?
Well, I've performed, I think, all of them. Some
Okay.
Sometimes I've done a lot of open mics throughout my years, and I've also done whenever I was living in Austin, Texas, for a little while, and I was performing at bars and stuff a lot. And then in my hometown, I was doing that. I've had a lot of times to. I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities to get in front of people and perform. Um, and I know at least the ones that are like, I know I've performed Burning It Down. I know I've performed Modern Day Romeo. I don't know if
Mm.
I ever performed the other one, um, If I Strike a Match, I'll Burn the City Town, whatever. I can't even remember that song. Like I can, but I like it's.
Mm.
I wrote that song. That was probably like
Long
12
time
years
ago.
ago or something. I I may have performed the one though at an open mic before.
I
Uh,
will say, if it is that old, it aged pretty well.
well,
You
thank you.
got a fine wine right there.
I guess I should go look into that again. I remember it's very antsy, and I was like really angry whenever I wrote that song.
Mm.
Very emotional. And,
Do you remember what he was angry at?
yeah, I think it was. Um, I think it was just different, like high school drama type stuff, and like
No.
gossip and being misunderstood. Um, a lot of times I felt misunderstood and like things like that throughout my experience. Um, being the emotional creature that I am, and so I to give reference, like I mentioned earlier, I enjoy spiritual practices and things like that, and I've read, I do a lot of reading in that area, um, and there's, I think it might be in The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. He talks about naming your ego, to like get some separation from it, and
Mm.
so I've named my ego Professor Melodrama because, yeah, I can be, especially in my younger and more immature years, I was very melodramatic, but that's still, like, it can still manifest, that's for certain. Um, I'm growing in that area, but, it's one of my warts, I guess you
Mm.
could say, as being a human. Uh,
Mm.
but that's part of my, I'm really interested in the Enneagram also. If you've ever heard of that, it's a personality typology system and
Now
very,
tell me more about
um, and yeah, my personality type is the Enneagram Type 4, which is all about, well, usually there's some form of art or creativity that sticks with them from a young age that they use, I guess, to help with all their emotions and stuff. And yeah, whenever I like got more and more into the Enneagram, it's just like, holy cow. It's like whenever you read about all these 9 different types, there's generally one that you'll read about and it'll just be like an uncomfortable and awkward light is shining right on you and you're like, oh my goodness, I've been found out.
it. Mm.
And,
So, so this testing, is it like a website or
there are various websites. I think there's one called Truity, maybe
mm.
Trity, that has it. And there's different there there's a book called The Wisdom of the Enneagram. That's a really good book that also has a little quiz in there too. And then books by like Ian Cross, which is The Road Back to You, I think it's called.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, what I enjoy about the Enneagram, as opposed to a lot of different typology systems, which I've probably gotten into every single one of them. Now that's not true. That's being a little bit over dramatic. I haven't gotten to every single one of them because there's so many, but I've gotten into a lot of them throughout my years. But what I really appreciate about the Enneagram is rather than what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to show you the trap that your mind is set in and how to get
Mm.
out of it and like how to grow rather than giving yourself an excuse to be the same person or like or like the same traps, I guess you could say, like same kind
Mm.
of patterns and like rigidness of
Mm.
personality and grow more into your true nature, like the human potential things.
And how has this, helped you improve yourself?
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
No, I'm asking you, like, how has this like helped you improve?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was a question. uh, so it gives me it it's shown me a lot of areas that I need to be mindful in, and like whenever I can get so wrapped up in my imagination or fantasy or things like that, which is great for my creativity. But if I'm just sitting around getting lost in my imagination, not taking creative action or whatever, then I fall deeper and deeper and deeper into this trance, and I can get into this melancholic, like super melancholic funk, um, and very self-pitying and like ungrateful and not able to see like all the many blessings that I have in my life, and it gives different. And some of the, and I know in the wisdom of the Enneagram, there's for each type, there's little like alarm bells that can go off mentally for yourself to be like, oh, I'm going like into robot mode. I need to be present or whatever. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's really helped me in areas like that and ways to uh, be more self-aware and give myself grace, compassion, and love, I guess, tolerance, but also with the it gives me kind of a roadmap somewhat of how to grow and what to be looking for and mindful of.
Okay. And moving on to the next song, Modern Day Romeo. How this song came to be.
Um, I just wanted to write. Um, well, actually, so I loved the story of Romeo and Juliet in high school. I actually wrote a song in high school about it's like about a girl, but using that metaphor like so many artists have done. But anyways, this one, Modern Day Romeo, I wanted to make just. I think I just wanted to create a really sad, um, and like I really wanted to just write a tragedy, and but have it still be beautiful, I guess would be the way to put it, because I can find a lot of beauty in the darker sides of things,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think I might have had the idea uh, of what likely happens. What happens for me a lot of times with writing, with songwriting, is I'll hear a melody and hear a lyrical concept in my head like at the same time. I like hear it how I want it to. It just like happens at different points. So like, um, and it's often like the chorus or whatever, and then I'll go in and start writing from there. And so I imagine that happened with that song. I can't remember for sure because it's been so long, and admittedly, I've done so many drugs and alcohol since that point. Because like I was like really into drugs and alcohol for a long time. Like I overdosed one time and nearly died. Uh, and so there has been a lot of brain damage that has taken place through that. You know, that's just a fact. You lose memories and things like that. But
Mm.
I digress. Uh,
Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, which is saying a lot. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. I'm trying to remember some of the lyrics because oh, having gained an angel tonight while I lost mine. I think that was probably the lyric that came up in my head that I like heard. and like just started going with, and I was like, this could be a really cool idea or something.
Mm.
And then I just created this story of of, of these two lovers, or these like this really depressed boy, which I honestly was probably abstracting my own experiencing it, like experience subconsciously, because I was
Mm.
like suicidal for a long time in my life. Um, and I was also a hopeless romantic. Um, yeah. And so it goes on, and I guess I just thought it would be really poetic and deep to write a song like that, and so I did.
And
I think
when
that's
it
I think that's probably how it really came about. All of that. I don't know if I really answered your question very well, so I apologize. But
no, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, this is what a podcast is for. Is to hear the long story of it.
actually,
Um.
I don't apologize because I didn't do any harm. Thank you for
Mm,
going along the journey with me.
no problem.
That's the way I should
And
phrase that.
and and I'm curious when it came to performing live, which are your songs out of your catalog that you enjoy?
Um, well, so I've been working on this new one. Well, not working on. I like produced it and things, and I'm just in the process of like better finalizing it, I guess, mixing wise and things like that, and waiting to release it. But it has some it has some rap in it, and I actually performed it last night for the first time at an open mic, and it was so much fun to do that.
And which
But
song is it?
so it's not actually released yet. There's
Okay.
a couple of snippets of it on my Instagram, I believe, of just like little short reels or whatever. But it's called Happy Now. Um, it's a song it's all about happiness. And
Mm.
yeah, so that one's really fun. Um, I also really enjoy performing The Poison and um, Want to Give You Love, because I can bring a lot of passion into those, and like, um, I guess almost I can express a lot vocally in those songs. I feel like, um,
No.
which feels really good.
So there's Poison, Happy Now. Was there another one?
Yeah, and Want to Give You Love.
Want to Give You Love.
Yeah,
So all three of these. Oh my bad. He was about to say.
those are some of my favorites. I have other ones probably, but at least the the Poison and Want to Give You Love are probably my favorites out of the ones that I have like on Spotify and stuff to perform, and out of most of my catalog on like YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to shout out real quick Jet Production. They uh they make short action films, and they're looking to collaborate with artists for soundtracks to the short action films. If you are interested.
Yeah. What was
Okay.
that?
Short action films. So
Short.
they make like kung fu short films.
That's rad.
Mm. So if you're interested to collaborate with them, to have your music used as a soundtrack, they down to work with you.
That'd be great. Thank you for.
Okay.
How would we go about trying that or setting that up?
I'm gonna send you their information afterwards.
Well,
They got I know they got a couple projects on the way. They got a bar fight, and then they got a
sick.
samurai short film coming up.
Man,
But
I'm stoked to watch
uh,
their films. Really,
mm,
that
so
sound cool.
they do got a couple projects out on YouTube. I could send you their their work.
Yeah, please.
Um, no problem, no problem. Also, checking out your music as well. There's a couple of people that I work with that you might find interesting. Like the Kingman Squash Disaster. Uh, I've been telling everybody that he got a unique, nostalgic voice. Um, I think you might find him interesting. He got more like a folk vibe,
Mm-hmm.
folk no man's type of vibe. And then you might like Mike Buddy,
Like,
uh, Mike Bud. You might like him. He got like this old soul, blues type of voice. Um, you might like his type of style. Uh, but those two people that I find that you might find interesting, collaborating with.
yeah. So Mike, buddy, and what was the other one again?
The Kingsman Squash Disaster.
Kingsman Guac's Disaster. Are they like on social media and stuff?
hmm I can see you their links and stuff
Yeah,
after this.
great. I'd love to
Oh,
connect with them, or at least at the very least show them some support and love. You know what I mean?
yeah, no problem, no problem. Um, Also, my platform bring the underground to you. I promoted about 118 artists so far. Uh, so they range from like R&B, rock, etc. So you're looking to expand or connect with other people, my platform. You're welcome to use my platform to connect and build.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. I'm starting to bring in people that's doing their own TV show. I'm starting to bring in artists outside of the United States. So if you are looking to expand outside or you try to get a global audience, uh, my platform offer that.
Yeah.
Um, so we was talking about your favorite was to perform your newest song, correct?
Yeah, for the time being, it'll. I'm sure it'll change. Like it'll. It,
That's fine. I'm curious when it comes to the crowd, what song did they gravitate towards?
well, last night they actually really did enjoy that song, and so
Which one was that?
oh, the Happy Now song.
Okay.
They really enjoyed that. Like I got a lot of compliments on it, and and then Want to Give You Love generally does is a crowd pleaser, and The Poison does pretty well. There's one that I haven't. I've been in the process of recording and producing for a while now called "Quiet Your Mind," or actually, I think it's going to be titled. I think it'll be titled "The Soul," um, and that one does really well. Which that one's not released anywhere. I don't. I don't think I released it anywhere. Um, yeah, no, I haven't. But that one does really well. I know in years past, whenever I used to do like Burning It Down, that one did really well also.
hmm
Uh, I think this song called Godsend that I have on my SoundCloud, that one did really well. I think people really resonated with Modern Day Romeo also. Um, I know I've gotten a lot of kind words regarding that. I remember there was one gentleman after that song, after I performed that song one time, it really touched him because his um, a member of his family or something had just recently, like within the week or something, passed away from cancer or something. So it opened up an opportunity for him to like grieve during that song, and so like that was such a humbling and beautiful experience for me. And that's probably one of my favorite, not one of, it is my favorite aspect of being a performer and an artist is whenever I get to make an emotional connection with somebody and have them share with me that they're able to connect with lyrics that I write or melodies and different things like that. with their either present experience or previous experience, and that it helps them in some sort of way. It's just such a meaningful and humbling experience every time, and it never gets old. And like, well, that and in connection with like whenever I'm on stage, and there's just this like spiritual experience for me to where it's almost like me and the audience are one at different points that I've had, and that's a really beautiful experience also, to where it is almost like everyone in the room and myself, like our egos like got stifled for a moment, and it's just this spirit going on there, and it's really cool when stuff like that happens.
Okay. And do you have any routine to prepare yourself um, before you go on stage?
So I generally, before I go on stage, I'll try to do at least some breathing techniques of like just focusing on my breath and mindfulness, and also uh, prayer. Just that, um, for the time being, that like I would, that my ego would just subside, and basically that I would be a vessel, and you know that my higher power would just speak through me, and that the little James that tries to play God all the time would shut up for at least a brief moment, uh, and that I would just be able to, be used in some meaningful way, and that it wouldn't be just to feed my own ego, basically, and that it would be able to help and be beneficial to others. So just
Mm,
just praying to try to get in like right standing, I guess, would be a good way to summarize that.
and I'm curious as well. Are you an independent artist?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking to sign to a label?
Um, Maybe. I don't know.
Mm,
I mean, I'm I'm open to it.
okay.
Kind of just
And
I'm a really go with the flow and open minded type of person, and like especially nowadays in regard to music, I'm you know if my higher power wants to use it, then he's gonna open the door, or he, she, it, whatever, they will open the doors for that to happen. And for the time being, I'm just really enjoying creating
okay.
and working.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I'd be open to it.
and I'm curious. Will you stay as a solo artist, or will you be looking to having to expand into like a band or something?
So I have wanted to have a band before. Like that was the whole idea that I had with whenever I was like with the songs like Better Now and The Poison. I was wanted to have like a band and do like the pop punk emo type of stuff. Which I'd still be open to, but I also like I'm kind of enjoying this toying with producing on Logic and making like kind of rap pop influence type stuff. And this, which, like I said, I haven't released any of the stuff that I've been working on in that areas, but it's just been really fun to create that way. Um, and
Okay.
so I guess it kind of depends. I mean, well, actually, no, I could probably still use a band for stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to have a band, like, just, I would just have to know that, like, have the right people and know that they were, I could trust them and that they were interested in, or like devoted to the same type of things that I was, and like the same type of vision that I would have for it.
It's this artist that I previously worked with, Battery Acid. Uh, she's technically a solo artist, but she would have bandmates that she would collaborate with
Mm-hmm.
whenever like she like perform. Um, so I've seen a couple artists that would have a creative way to go about things. Um, uh, so I would say, we live in an era now that, we can make it possible, you know, to
Yeah.
make it, fit our needs, however it is. So, um, I think like you said, if the door is open to it, I'm curious to see what that will look like for you to collaborate with other people to create a
Yeah.
masterpiece. Um, and you've been speaking on dabbling into, pop and rap. I'm curious, where will you put your music in a genre, and where can we see you exploring that next?
Um, I feel like some of the flow stuff sounds a little bit like Lil Dicky, but not like
You said Lil Dicky,
yeah, but it's not like joking. Like I'm not doing that type of stuff, but like just the I think the like
either more
type of flow
serious.
happening I think sounds somewhat similar to that. Um, but I also like for this Happy Now song, the chorus is very singable. Like it is a very like it sounds I guess similar to a lot of my other stuff. Like catchy and singable. And then
Mm,
in the verse I rap, but I also have like a backing or a harmonizing sing rap kind of in the background of it to
mm-hmm,
accentuate the rhymes.
mm-hmm.
And I don't I don't really know where I'd put it honestly.
Mm,
uh, I'm admittedly like I'm somewhat musically ignorant with in regard to a lot of like other artists and stuff. I go back and I frequent a lot of stuff that I used to listen to, and but I don't know if I'd necessarily fit it with any of those. Like I said, there's somewhat, I guess, a little Diggy influence. I think on like the way the flow happens.
mm.
Um,
So, so you could create your own genre. What would you name
oh no,
it?
uh, I probably just made myself sound a lot cooler than I was because I don't think that's what's happening with my music. But if it was, and so we'll go with that idea. Um, what would I call it? Let's see. Uh, um, Cincy boy stuff. Standing
Sensei boy stuff.
Cincy boy stuff. Standing for
Sensei.
boy stuff. I don't.
Sensei boy stuff.
I'm a Cincy boy. Even though I'm rapping like a lot, like my rap is all about being happy, and so, like the lyrics
Mm,
says, walking around town, chest out, shoulders down, feeling proud of the way that I live today, not taken away with chains of shame, untamed. The name is grace. I'm trained in weightlessness. Create more hits, give less shit. Glimpse through the lens that is not subjective. Manifest wisdom from vision
mm,
I'd seen in my sleep. Woman in my dream. Met her recently. Felt her energy. Remembering all I got to do is live as a witness. Focus attention on the present moment. Um, oh my, there's no time like right now. Nothing on my mind. Like wow, this is samadhi. No doubt. No doubt. I'm happy now. And it goes into the chorus. And so like it's still me writing about feelings and stuff, like I always do. And like
mm.
that's definitely I don't know. I don't think that's normal like hip hop, rap, like to be rapping about your feelings. It's kind of just,
Uh, Not necessarily.
or no,
Um,
never mind. It wouldn't be sensitive boy. It would be maybe softcore. I would call it softcore.
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 SOECORE.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting name. Interesting name. When you was comparing yourself to Lil Dick, the song to Lil Dicky, um, I was thinking in between. So, will you be considered a serious dick or emotional dick?
Emotional. Maybe. Oh, maybe that would be a good one. It could be. It could be emo dick.
Hey, we're gonna leave it to a vote in the comments when it's
Yeah,
done.
there we go.
Um, but it's great to see that you have sense of humor. Is there a part of you that you would like to express to the audience that people don't get to see often?
Hmm. What is a part of me that people don't get to see often? Um. Now I'm overthinking it.
Mm,
What's funny is I was about to say something like really lighthearted or like really happy go lucky, and then or like not or like surface level type of thing, and then I started overthinking that and diving too deep into it, and then now we're here. Uh, this is something that people often see awkwardness and experience.
mm,
Um, but really, I just think like gratitude now is a big thing for me. And practicing that and like actually joy and experiencing joy and embracing that because
mm.
a lot of my life uh it was like melancholic emotional boy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so now, yeah, I guess like what I'm doing kind of now, just like laughing about my foibles and laughing at myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's always fun. One thing that I like to say is um like if I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm like, focused on them or whatever, and then the conversation gets turned back on me, then I will say a joke and be like, okay, good, back to my favorite subject, me.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all everybody's a little self-centered, but I think musicians probably uh, definitely like drug addicts and alcoholics are like naturally very self-centered.
True.
Then you have to learn to actively like not be, and so I think paired along with that, being a musician or whatever can also be the same way. Like, I'm so special, look at me.
True. But
I
at the same time,
can do
a
some
little
of my
bit is required.
I can do some of my characters. That's something that people don't see. I have a couple characters that I've made up in the past. Um,
And
so
are these to test your different personalities or
yeah,
emotions?
so one of them is a stoner guy. He's
Mm.
like, do you ever like look up at the stars and you're like, it's all a facade? Like, the stars aren't even real, they're just cameras looking down on us from the government. And like, what is real?
That's that.
You know what I mean? And then there's the drunk guy. Uh, it's like, uh, listen, I'm, I'm just tell you something. I just need to tell you something. It's really important. What was I saying? Oh, I love you. I love you, man. You're such a good guy. And then oh my goodness, the other day I was walking around and I see these people, they're of the playing this game where one guy says hut hut, and then they throw the ball under the leg and then catch, and then he all of the people are the running, and then there's so violent, so much of the
Mm.
violence happening, and then he throws ball and catches, and then I go up to them and I say, what is this game that you're of the playing? And I say, this is football. And I said, this is not what this football. Football is with round ball, and you run and you kick ball and goal, and people say goal. This game should be called run, tackle, throw ball, catch ball, injury ball game. That's what this game called.
And what's this version?
Oh, that one is just a it's I don't have a name for that one actually. That one's just, I guess, James being weird, which is I don't know. Yeah.
So the next song I'll bring up that I'm curious to hear about, Peter
What?
Pan.
One more time?
Peter Pan.
Oh, Peter Pan?
Mm-hmm.
That one did really well too. People really enjoyed that one also. What was your question regarding it?
How this came to be? What's the
Okay,
backstory?
gotcha. There was a girl that I really liked, and actually, no. I mean, that is still true. Like, there was a girl that I liked, and I wrote a song about her. But one of my old, like, best friends, that I had this little acoustic project with all throughout high school and like middle school also, I think, but more so in high school. We had this acoustic thing, and he wrote the lyric, or he kind of would say it as like a pickup line or like a joking pickup line. He was like, if I were Peter Pan, you'd be my happy thought. And I was like, that's a killer line. And then one day I used it to write a song, and then I messaged him and I was like, if this song ever gets really big, then I'll give you
Hmm.
writing credentials for it, or like whatever. And he's like, you don't have to do that. I was like, but I feel so dishonest about it.
Shout out to that. And you said it's catching on to like the audience that they already hear, or like it's still growing.
Um, well, it was one that people really enjoyed back whenever I used to perform it a lot. I know that. I
Okay.
know did it in some time. I may have performed it not like a year ago or something at an open mic randomly, but a lot of those songs I don't really perform anymore. But I've been thinking about doing them again, kind of. So maybe there's a sign that I should.
Okay. Underneath the stars.
Yeah.
How this song came to be.
Yeah, so Underneath the Stars, there was a girl that I dated. She was a sweetheart. Um, and our we both were avid stargazers, and we loved cuddling underneath the stars. And
Mm.
we broke up. And then I
Underneath the stars too.
no, we didn't break up underneath. That would have been I kind of wish that would have happened now though. out of just made it perfect. I guess that's a metaphor for my life. No. Yeah. No. Anyways, so yeah, I wrote that song, um, which her and I still talk occasionally. She's married
Hmm.
now, um, to a really good guy, really cool guy.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll talk occasionally on Instagram. We don't live in the same city or anything, but very on random occasions we will talk. Um,
Okay.
and yes, that song was written about the longing of wanting to be back cuddling with her underneath the stars.
Okay.
Her and I also had this really like special time together, um, which I won't go into too much detail about. But we, I took her one time out to my father's ranch, and we had like stargazed some like pretty frequently together. But this one time, I like packed up this little twin size mattress in the back of the car or whatever, and then we like went and put the mattress on the dock, and we like were gazing under these stars, and then we like slept there, and then it started raining on us, and like like moved the bed into the car, and yeah, and so it was just like this really like cute, innocent like um, experience that we had together.
That's what's up. Do you still like stargazing?
Oh yeah, I love stargazing too.
Mm.
Still, I really just I love nature. Like I love going out on trails here in Arkansas, um, spending time by the riverbeds or whatever, and like meditating or just listening and going for walks or hikes and looking around and listening to the birds and noticing all the little bugs that cross my feet or whatever, and watching my dog run and like chase a squirrel. Or there was this one time that I saw. So my dog is a miniature Aussie, and there was all these cows this one time on this trail, and because it passes this big field, and I kind of always wondered, like whenever my dog would like start to kind of barking and chasing at an animal, I always thought that it was this shepherding instinct kicking in, not actually predator stuff, because he's such a kind and sweet little dog. Like, anyways, so this time with the cows, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens here. And they were all the cows were like in little, like there might be one or two in this one area of the field, then like another one 50 yards away or like whatever, and like little just blotches all around it. And then he, one by one or two by two, got them all in a herd. And then he looked so happy and content, like he had just completed his life's meaning. And,
Mm.
you know, it's a good lesson.
Okay. Um. So before uh we closed off to the end, to give you an update, uh, this first EP is a free trial to give everybody an opportunity to showcase and be promoted. Uh, Anything beyond this will have a small fee going forward for any other EPs. So the next EP that you come on, I would do a ranking out your catalog. Uh, so I encourage you to make more music. Uh, but the next time you come on here, I would do a ranking out your catalog, just from a listener standpoint. Uh, if you're ever interested to come back.
Okay.
Um, oh, I will keep you updated when your EP is about to come out. It's going to be sometime soon, at least when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to Spotify, I already have a waiting list of people that I already produced the podcast with that's still waiting to get their EP out. So it's going to take some time to get it on Spotify. However, YouTube, it should be out within, I would say 2 weeks. It should be out within 2 weeks. But I'm gonna hit you up soon, asking for a cover pick for your EP. I'm also gonna send your bio once it's ready. Um, but to close out, drop all your socials. Shout out anybody that you want to put on, and drop a song out of your catalog you want people to tune into.
Yeah. So my socials, it's just all like whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or I think even like my Facebook page and YouTube, believe is all just at James Voorhees Music, and that's JAMES as in Victor OORHEES Music. I don't know why I didn't spell music after everything else, but um,
You can trust the audience to be able to
right.
spell music.
And then um, what song? I'm gonna say Better Now. I'm gonna go with that one.
Better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was great to have you on this podcast. I appreciate for you giving us the opportunity to host you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
No
Namaste.
problem. Wait, what was that last part?
I said namaste.
Namaste?
Yeah, it means it means the divine light within me honors and basically sees the divine light in you.
Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top. Keep doing your thing. I believe you got potential when it comes to your music, especially when it comes to emotions. Like I said, I think you're really good at pulling that out. Um, so I'll continue. I look forward to, seeing more of your work.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
It was
Have a
a
good one.
pleasure.
Oh, yeah, it was a pleasure working with you as well. All right. Have a good night.
You too.